Thank you very much for joining me once again. Welcome back to my channel. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has summoned the top Islamic sheikhs, clerics in Nigeria to have a sit-down conversation on what is the probable solution about Sharia. Because whether you like it or not, the very basis of the issue going on against the Christians in Nigeria is simply because the Christians have refused to bow to the pressure of some Islamic extremists in the north. Of course, because of that, some people invited some elements in, and today those elements have become monsters. Why they are unaliving Christians in a number that is unaccounted for. We can also say the Muslims in some aspects are also being killed. However, what I found on the Punch newspaper this morning, where they wrote alleged Christian genocide. What is alleged about it? But I understand because, most of these traditional media outfits are regulated as censored, so they have to be very careful with what they say. We, on the other hand, understand that in the coming days, the United States of America will start inviting Christian clergymen to come into the Senate, into the Congress to testify, because the government of Donald Trump has been charged by the Pope of the Vatican City. You know who the Pope is? In the Christendom, the Pope sits at the top of the pyramid, just as in Kano, Sultan sits on the top of the Islamic faithfuls. This is what the Pope has said, that the Christians in Nigeria must be safe, they must be secured, no lives again must be lost because of what we call religious intolerance, because of what we call Islamization agenda, or what we call forceful conversion to Islam. I mean, what has been going on in Nigeria is not far-fetched. This didn't start in this era. Right from the 1950s, when the British colonial masters first and foremost denied us the independence, it was on the premise of religion. Simple. As at then, they said we needed to get an approval from the North, that the North control the polity, and at that time, the North were asking for a condition to be fulfilled. We must have the Sharia inserted into the constitution. And our forebears then, Awolowo and Co said, no, this cannot work. Let us stick to the McFerguson or whatever constitution that we had then, wherein we will operate according to our region. In your own region, no problem. Let us get this independence as a confederation. However, that independence was delayed for additional 5 years. And by 1960, because of desperation, some people said, okay, let us go. And then we went into that, what we call a mirage called independence. And here we are today, 65 years later, we are still troubled by a law that is supposedly divine. A law that everybody is not ready to live by, however, causes chaos to a lot of lives who are not ready to submit to it. Whether you like it or not, Tinubu summoning the Sultan in the next few days, summoning the Emir, summoning top Islamic religious leaders for a conversation, for a sit down to maybe reduce, or should I say extract Sharia from the constitution, something that we know is almost impossible. This is like you cutting off the hunch from the back of a man with an hunchback. That's almost impossible. You want to kill him. When you see a cow with a hunch, cutting off the hunch will kill the cow. So is it for a man with an hunchback. Taking off the Sharia is like you taking away the very existence of the North. When I mean the North, I mean the Connaught. Okay? So what Tinubu has to do is clear. Let us have a proper sit down. Nigeria has lived for 65 years. So many countries didn't have to live for this long amount of years before they could talk to themselves. They don't have a restructuring. So many countries. Our go there. Switzerland didn't have to go through this horror and trauma. Rwanda did not live even up to 6 years after their independence before they went into what we call the very popular genocide, where in just less than a month, over 1 million people were wiped out. And we know what happened after that. How the United States, how the United Nations, they intervened, and today Rwanda is one of the fastest developing countries in Africa. Why? Because those things that brought separation, those things that brought bigotry, those things that kept on flaming the embers of division, like we have in Nigeria, the very existence of Sharia flames the ember of division. Because it doesn't matter what you say. When you tell them, no, we shouldn't be having extremists coming to Southwest to preach, they will tell you, well, there's nothing you can do about it because there's Sharia there, and the state assembly members, if you get to a particular time where the Muslims become a majority and the state populace begin to call for Sharia, if the state assembly, 2/3 of them agree for Sharia, that will be the case. And that is absolutely true. Because an avenue for creation of this Sharia has been imputed into the constitution for some element. In the constitution, it was never explicitly written that, yes, the reason why we inserted the constitution is because of the Northern brothers. And this must at any point in time cross beyond maybe Kano. They never said it. They said the Sharia will be what? Guaranteed according to the 1999 constitution. And anywhere in any country, in the country called Nigeria, where people become the majority seeking for Sharia, then it should be implemented. Then that is the problem. The Pope speaking out is fair enough for us. I love it. However, it is not enough. Yes, because there is heavy campaigns. There is heavy resource investment to silence people who have been genocided. People are now deploying AI to open coffins and make those coffins empty, saying that the Christians in the Middle Belt, in line with Sheikh Gumi false allegations that the Christians are digging the ground and sinking empty coffins. I mean, a man can be so despicable, but Sheikh Gumi's own, I don't know how to describe it. I do not know. I cannot put words together to look and phantom the thought process of Sheikh Gumi. And this is a man who supposedly had 2 sons in the military. This is a man who is revered. In fact, there is currently a compendium and a symposium going on in commemoration for Sheikh Gumi. I wonder what they are celebrating. I mean, Sheikh Gumi, for me, I don't know why is it so celebrated? Of course, it is because Nigeria is so sympathetic to Islamic extremists. I mean, how do you take it away? A man like him, a man who has been this bad in going into some Western countries, was celebrated. I mean, that man was celebrated, was welcomed with a green carpet, a red carpet. Currently, he's going through an Islamic crusade in Nigeria. He landed in Lagos. Now he's going to, I think, is it Ogun State? From there, Abuja, from Abuja, Kaduna. I mean, the Pope should, on a weekly basis, continue to press Donald Trump. Yes. Because what Donald Trump wants to do to us is just a privilege. It is not his duty. He is not obliged to come into Nigeria and wipe out this terrorist. No. If he wants to do it, he's doing it just from his what? From his mind. Nothing more. Just from his kind heart. Why so many American Christians support this? But the Nigerian Christians are the ones, on the other hand, who are what? Timid. The Nigerian Christians have largely been too cowardly. I mean, look at our leaders. Look at our Christian leaders. They are all watching what they say. They are scared. So many of them are too careful. I am counting down the 100 days for Adeboye. I think it's over two. It's going to almost 10 days now, right? So we have 90 days for Adeboye. Yes, the last time Adeboye gave Tinubu an ultimatum, he said, in 100 days, if you are not able to wipe out these people that are killing the Christians, I will personally go to the Congress. Well, I am counting down. I am counting down, and I hope by that time, ethnic bigotry will not blind the eyes of Adeboye, and all of a sudden, he will start telling us another thing. I hope we are here. That's next year, because 100 days will last by next year, maybe by February. Uh-huh. And by February, I know there's a program they do. Holy Ghost Convention or thereabout. So, no, it's not February. So, we will be here. That is when the Christian Lenten fasting period will commence by February. We would watch what is going to happen, how the Nigerian Christian leaders, if they will stand by the Christians or they will betray them, because we know the people of the other faiths do not joke with their own members. They don't. In fact, the people of the other faith are so protective of the Islamic women. They don't joke with them. But somehow our own Christian pastors, they just use us, should I say, as just a milking, where they just milk us, milking platform. The Pope prescription, the Pope reminder, everything should keep putting the pressure on Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Tinubu should, of course, do the needful. No matter whose ox is God, do the right thing. Regularize religion. I, as a person, don't even mind if the Christian churches will be barred from using, microphones, megaphones. I don't care. I don't mind. Because if we want to move as a nation, religion to a large extent must be regularized. Religion has finished us in this country. Religion has finished us in this country. Yesterday I saw something in the Nigeria versus Congo, and you know what the coach said? The coach, that very incompetent coach, and yes, with the deep-rooted corruption in NFF, agreed. However, that coach, for him to come out and say that nonsense that Congo were using jazz, that they were using voodoo, they were using African magic. I mean, religion. So he wants Nigerian people to say, oh, no. Nigeria is where it is today because we are too easily manipulated with religion. Until we begin to desensitize ourselves towards religion, take our eyes away. Saudi Arabia cannot be donating Quran and dates as against donating, science and technological know-how. The Saudi Arabia cannot turn Nigeria to a citadel of Quranic studies. No, there's no blessing for that. On this earth, there's no blessing for that. Whatever heavenly blessing that you have, it is imaginary. Because in Saudi Arabia today, they are not just establishing themselves as the foundation of Islam. They want to be a world power. They are working with America. The same America the Sheikh Gumis are against, the same America the Sultan are against. Saudi Arabia, where they draw their faith from. Yes, without Saudi Arabia, there won't be Islam. Without Medina, without Kaaba, where they go to throw stone at the devil, there won't be Islam. The rituals that they practice in Islam will not be complete. So I know what I'm saying. The Nigerian government must begin to hold the bull by the horn. Religion must be confronted. Sharia must be removed from our constitution, or it must be properly specified that Sharia will only be for the northern part. From Middle Belt downwards, it will never be an option for Sharia to be practiced. Yes, and that is democracy. Yes, because if we have a consensus vote today that should Sharia be removed in southern part of Nigeria, in middle belt of Nigeria, you would have a conclusive yes, a significant, a very loud and very chorus yes from the people. In the Connaught, they will tell you no, Sharia should remain. So therefore, Tinubu should be courageous. If it fails to be courageous, the United States of America are coming. It's a matter of time. We can see the Honorable Rep Riley almost every day he dey tweet the matter. Nigeria, a now disgraced country. I mean, the Sultan said Donald Trump should withdraw that statement. I laugh in Chinese. I laugh in Fufude. Is Nigeria not a disgraced country? Like, what is there to be proud of? World Cup will not qualify. Bullets we cannot produce. Clothes we cannot produce. Everything I am putting on like this is imported. The material, all these things. They feel strong for about, but the material imported. So without the material, then your skill to make, to fabricate is useless. Everything, this mic imported. And those people that we are importing it from, they instead of them to give us the technology, they are selling us religious fanaticism. No. America, that has been proven for many years to have developed countries, give them the technological know-how. Yes, it doesn't come for free, but in the long run, you become stable, you become an independent nation. Saudi Arabia would not be a rich nation today without the intervention of America. They wouldn't have been. The Saudi Aramco oil company was built by the Americans. At the very beginning, the Americans were controlling about 80% of the shares, 80 to 85% of the shares, because they built it from scratch. They developed the refineries. Over the years, about 25 to 30 years, Saudi Arabia began to buy shares. On mutual agreement. And now today, Saudi Arabia have gained the knowledge on how to build refineries. Saudi Arabia are the one in charge of their oil. You can't steal a drop of crude oil in Saudi Arabia. It wasn't Sharia that gave them that technology. It wasn't Islam that gave them that technology. Okay? It was they opening their brains to the adaptation, absorbing the Western civilization. Today, Saudi Arabia, who know how to build refinery, will not come to Nigeria and say, in Africa, Nigeria is one of the largest population of Muslims. Okay, you know what? What will happen when I build refinery? They make a year. These people are Muslims. Look at them. They over 100 and a multi-dimensional poverty. Nigeria, okay, you know what? We will come into your country, we will build military schools, we will build educational schools, we will build this, we will build that. Now Quran, Mokuna dey load down for una hair, boom. Mokuna dey load down for una hair, boom. What we call a mind control weapon. That's what they do. Controlling our minds. We are counting down to the 100 days because the person who I'm waiting for to speak now, my own general overseer. The man who I have tried every possible best to stop attending his church. Though I have reduced my attendance now. Adeboye, redeem. I am counting down, patiently counting down the 100 days. I think we're in day 10 now or day 11. I am counting down patiently. When the 100 days come, I will be the first person that will say, okay, Adeboye, talk. Because I know in 100 days, Tinubu cannot stop this thing. He cannot do. How does he want to do it? The only way he can do it is when he invites America. We need your technological support. In some places, we might need a man on ground. If Tinubu fails to do this, well, I will be waiting for Adeboye. But for now, the Pope has said what should be said. And may God in his infinite mercy, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the moderate Muslims out there, not the extremists. Because you will never find the moderate Muslims, a logical Muslim, a God-fearing, Allah-fearing Muslim that will be quiet, that will not tell Donald Trump to come and save him, that will not call Donald Trump to come and save the Nigerian Christians that are being killed by this extreme Islamic jihadists. Because if Saudi Arabia can go into a security collaboration with America, if Qatar, Dubai and all that can go into security agreements, contract with America, And Trump is ready to give us on a platter. Even if it comes in exchange for some of our resources. And so what? Saudi Arabia are not getting it for free. Qatar, Kuwait are not getting it for free. Yes. And so what? Bye for now.